Alright guys, just making a very quick video today updating everyone on a little bit of classic World of Warcraft news. Basically we've had another blue post already, which is first of all something we need to talk about because that is awesome. It seems like the classic team, which is a team obviously very disconnected from the retail World of Warcraft team because they seem to be updating us very frequently, listening to the community, compromising on the kind of changes that we want made, and I think it's just a really awesome thing. Like, it's a really kind of innovative step forward for Blizzard because this is very unlike Blizzard. I've seen comments in other videos saying like, I don't know quite how to deal with this. Like, Blizzard are actually listening to the community, talking to the community, and updating the community. So it's very interesting. So going forward, I think, yeah, this is pretty good. Basically, the post is all about item trading. So, by the way guys, just quickly before we get any further, be sure to give me a quick follow on Twitch. It's Metagoblin1. You'll find info in the description. But anyway, let's carry on. So basically, a while ago, well, it wasn't a while ago. Well, it was a while ago. At the launch, like the proper initial launch of Classic WoW, one of the devs announced essentially that there is going to be item trading in Classic WoW. So item trading, it's a pretty straightforward system. Whenever you loot an item, anyone who was in the group when you looted that item has access to that item if you trade it with them for up to 2 hours. So it's a useful system in place for if you accidentally loot something, or you loot something automatically and you don't need it and you can give it to your friend. It's only really useful in auto-rolling systems that are in retail, because like it's personal loot now, so the loot's just kind of automatically sorted out for everyone, and if you need to do trades, you do trades. But that system isn't in Classic World of Warcraft. In Classic, it is not an automatic rolling system. It's need before greed or master loot, and then there's other ones that people don't generally use. So the issue with item trading that everyone basically initially predicted is that if you're in a pug group, dungeon or raid group, that say you're a mage, you need the what's the cap called? The orange cap, Crimson Hat of Fel, whatever it's called. The best in pre-bis loot from Strathholm for mages, and probably warlocks as well. Say like a mage needs it, he goes into a group with his rogue and warrior friend, and his rogue and warrior friend also need on the item. Then, you know, they could just simply trade it over to their mage friend. So it basically is something that can be very easily exploited. And the news is that Blizzard are basically compromising on this. They're removing the system from 5-man content, so dungeons and, well, that is 5-man content, so dungeons, but they're still enabling it in raids. So that is a slight issue. Obviously, it's a very useful thing if you're in a guild and you accidentally loot something, or you loot something and then you decide, actually I don't need it, I'll give it to the other hunter because he needs it more. Whatever. Like, it is a useful system in place for guild raid nights. However, the issue is that sometimes in vanilla you will get pug groups, right? They are quite rare, to be honest. You will not see them as often as you see pug groups in retail. Well, not even in retail because everything's done through the pre-made group finder, but like, say for instance, Wrath of the Lich King kind of era is when raid pugging became more of a thing in Wrath of the Lich King, I would say, whereas pre-Wrath of the Lich King everything was a bit more guild based. Only certain raids would actually be pugged, like Gru's Lair and Karazhan probably. And in vanilla, basically only Molten Core and Onyxia were pugged. It was very rare you'd see a Blackwing Lair pug because there's a number of pre-requirements before you can attempt to raid Blackwing Lair or Nax or Anchorage. In fact, Anchorage 20, I think that was pugged a little bit as well, because that was, you know, some raids obviously are just not made equal, some of them are more difficult than others. You will see Onyxia pugs and Molten Core pugs, that's basically what I'm trying to say. And the same little gimmick exploit, the same little strategy could be exploited basically in raid pug groups. So, you know, you've got a mage, he needs a particular piece of gear and he brings a few of his friends to need on the gear as well. I think what would happen is, because you can probably do it extremely discreetly, to be honest, well, suppose you can do it discreetly, because if a warrior needs on a cloth piece, it's going to be pretty obvious that what you've done, and you'll probably get kicked from the group. So if you use this exploit to get your friend's gear, you are probably just going to get kicked from the group. So that's why I feel like it's not a massive thing to worry about at the end of the day, because in Classic, server reputation is extremely important because, well, there's no such thing as cross-server content. Actually, I don't even think PvP was cross-server. So server reputation is very important. People are going to be discouraged from acting, well, using roguish dickhead tactics basically to get gear, because people will remember, and people will spam your name in trade chat and say, don't group with this guy, he's a ninja looter. People will actually do that. So that's why I think it's not that much of a thing to worry about, because I don't think it will happen that often. And I think it's a really good, compromise from Blizzard. They removed it from 5-man content because it would just be really ridiculously easy to do it in 5-man content. But yeah, in raids, it's going to be pretty obvious what you've done, and I think everyone will, like, the leader's probably going to kick you if you use this exploit, and that's why I don't think it's that much of a thing to worry about. However, it would just be better if it wasn't in the game, in my opinion. If loot trading wasn't in the game, it would just be better. At the end of the day, it wasn't in the original vanilla. It hasn't been on private servers, and everything's been fine. Like, everyone's normally quite friendly when you're playing Classic, even on these private servers. And if you start acting like a knobhead, basically, you are gonna suffer in the long term, because people remember you. That's what happens in Classic. Everyone's all on one server. People will remember you, and you will get a bad rep, and you won't be invited to groups because people will remember you. You'll whisper somebody and they just won't invite you, and they won't give you an explanation why. They might give you an explanation why. They might say, like, I heard you ninja'd this and we're not inviting you. But anyway, like, that's my opinion on item trading anyway. So it is a good compromise. They're removing it from 5-man content but keeping it in raid content, for the minor convenience that it might present itself. But I still just don't like little changes like this, to be honest. I'll probably make a separate video about this. I just don't like changes like this. I just wish there was absolutely no changes, personally, because you are just kind of, can't really think of the word, you're kind of tarnishing the vanilla flavour of Classic, really, aren't you? When you're adding all these little things to it, you're adding little chocolate chips and honeycomb parts right into the ice cream. Like, that is basically what item trading is. It's like a little bit of a chocolate chip. It's no longer vanilla anymore, I don't think. And especially with this Alteric Valley change, I think all these little gimmicky changes are not great. Honestly, I just think they just don't need to be in the game. I don't think it needs to chip in. There just doesn't need to be changes. But anyway, I'm like rambling a little bit. I'll end the video there. My name is Goblin. Until my next video. Ciao.